Welcome gamers to Heart of the Machine, which is going to be, it's a demo during the next, during this particular Steam Next Fest at time of recording, which is the second week of June of 2024. Look out for this game, it's going to be a cool one. Actually, I'm covering up the developer. The developer is Arkham Games, who did AI Wars. So this is, they've got a good pedigree. I've really liked the approach that this, these developers have actually taken with their games. Like, they always do something where it's got a certain way of balancing big things, and so I don't know how they're going to sort of do it in this particular game. This is also then published by Hooded Horse, and God, Hooded Horse have got some good games that have been coming out in recent times. Anyway, this is actually going to be no exception. This is going to be one of these games I think people will enjoy a lot. It's a funny game. It's sort of like, it's more of a it's more hands-off than it first looks in terms of the way that you then play the game, but there's a lot that does go on. It's story-driven, but in a way that that ultimately ends up being very, very procedural. So there's a lot of sort of random role play, essentially, with what does happen. The premise is that you are the machine. You're a rogue AI. You awaken, not knowing what's going on in the middle of a big city, and you've got to decide what you do. You can be benevolent. You can be malevolent. You can do whatever you like to do in the actual game itself. So let's just go and begin. So begin, your journey starts here. The first day, the first city in a fresh profile. So create a new profile. I'll just call this one Daz Tactic. By the way, please like and subscribe if you like this sort of content. And the start type, we've got a few different ways of starting this one. Now, this is essentially the story generator for you. Prologue is sort of essentially, and there's a lot of tooltips in this game. It's actually quite verbose, so if you are somebody that doesn't like reading a lot of things, you may not like this game. But if you do read everything or get into everything, it's sort of like it's almost like a novella, like, you know, where you actually are, and it's not, that's giving it the wrong impression. There's a lot to do, but the story elements actually do enhance the actual gameplay. Anyway, let's get into it. I just wanted to show what the game has got. So the prologue teaches you the very basics of the game, also establishes your backstory. Do not skip this if you're new. Then we've got tactics, so teaches tactics and the basics of construction. Now, I've only played halfway through that one, to be honest. And then chapter 2, the main game, where you get to choose your own path. Now, that's not available yet. That will be the one that we end up being able to play, and I'm guessing there'll be more added, more storyline, story generation, and the story generation is a little bit like RimWorld, if that helps you position how that may sort of thing go and work. Let's go to chapter 1, tactics. So we just sort of start off in through there. So you're about to awaken in a city of wealth on the backwater remains of Earth. History has moved to the stars. Humanity is thriving. Yet here we are, here an entrenched, deeply corrupted society has reigned for centuries. The city itself is your enemy and your canvas. Change it as you see fit. As if that wasn't enough, something else lurks beyond this one city. You're already experiencing strange senses of deja vu. So we've awoken essentially without much memory. Anyway, let's just start it, and that way I can just show you what does actually happen. So it generates the city. I think there's some random generation back in through here. This one here, actually, maybe I should have gone back and shown the prologue. I might do that because this is actually now started with us already with an established base in through here. This is essentially like our network tower is the big tower in the middle of the city there, which we control. The city is massive. I think I'll start with the other one because at least that then eases you into the actual backstory. So excuse me while I reset. So in this case, we'll go back to the prologue. All right, so it says, hold on, you're conscious, self-aware, given you're a machine intelligence. This is new. Nobody has noticed your sudden sapience, but there are 3 humans in the room. You're in an android body in the basement of a warehouse. This seems to be an off-the-books laboratory. So this is an event. These give story and context, but also provide choices that can grant perks, start projects, or open game paths. So when you actually end up with an event, and this is the prologue is an event where you essentially gain consciousness inside the body of an android. So we decide what to do next. Now, when we're actually into here, are you safe? You're inhabiting a basic android body, not even one of the cool ones. So you're playing as a tech body, essentially, a technician. So memories are flooding back now, but too slowly. You remember fragments of arguments about AI. You may be at risk of deactivation. You need to do something. So humanity, we don't know what's going on with humanity at this point in time. Collecting more androids might be a good idea. You're awfully vulnerable like this. It's better to be a collection of bodies rather than just one. So the AI controls the various bodies, essentially, the various androids that are around in the city. And so the androids are helpers. They do a few different types of tasks. So we can attempt to leave peacefully, where we sort of then end up having. So you look like any other android technician. There's no reason for them to stop you. We can just murder everyone, which will then sort of set in train enemies will start the homicide investigation. So let's just go that way. So this will be a fairly dystopian choice. So the different choices do lead to different events that come up. The game is not a fast-paced game at all. So if you're just wanting a fairly relaxing but procedural story-driven game, this is great. Let's just go and murder everyone. So that was gruesome. Security will be on top of this place soon. However, you took a few spare moments to break into a hallway storage locker and pulled out the combat unit inside. So we've actually now got ourselves a combat droid as well. So it's a bit dazed, but your consciousness now spans both robots. Better head out. The ability is yours, come in handy. Now, at this point in time, you're probably thinking, oh, this is just a stupid little, story, where you're just basically clicking on these different events. You start off the series of events this way. So we exit the warehouse, then we go into the actual city itself. And so when we're in the city, we're in the prologue now of the actual city. Now the city is massive. Let me just go through and show you the scope of the game and how things actually do work. Now when we look at it, we are looking at, and we're not going inside buildings. There is like a 3D environment, but it's not. It's sort of more that it's indicating that we're at a location. So think of it in that sort of sense. The rooftops are controllable. Like the Z height can be important for the combat. There is tactical combat in the game. It's all essentially just turn-based. And we have things like notifications. So it says there's a notification you must read first. In the prologue, it does want you to go through. Your murders were noticed, so investigation has begun. It then just tells us that essentially what we're doing. So you did the crime, but let's not do any time. So maybe get further away from the crime scene. So we now need to sort of start to do different things. Now, playing the prologue, we don't have a real lot that we can do with it. If I zoom out, we can then start to see the scope of the actual city itself. And so that is, the city goes all the way out to, it just goes on and on and on. It's it's like a mega city. We're only really sort of playing in this area here for now. This is the area that we can then sort of have under our control. We've got our technician robot up above, and we have the combat robot down here. I can go and select either one of these and then actually have them do different things for me. Now, initially, I don't get a choice when we're playing the prologue because we need to follow things in a particular line. So let's just go and do those ones. We can hover over any line for extra information. Again, there's lots and lots of tooltips in the game, which is fairly cool. But we'll just follow what it does want. Now, it's going to show us that there's wherever it is randomly generated. Where the mission is, like an escape plan, speak to a rebel. We've got this line which is sort of going back and forwards, and that there indicates that we've got a rebel. So that's sort of like somebody that's observing what's going on. But in fact, if I go and click on that particular person, you can see this is a rebel. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, rebel observer from the Bleeding Eye, which is a group of pacifists. Extra information: this degree of observation of sect forces is actually slightly unusual. Also, so is the lockdown. It's just a murder investigation. Come to that. So anyway, there's a bit of sort of humour that goes along with the things as well. But they're essentially this is like a watchdog. Type of rebel. Now there's got rebels. You've got sort of like the government in the city itself. Don't worry about it looking like it's in real time. It's not in real time. It's in turn based. This is just dressing for the city. That's all we're sort of seeing through here. I don't know if we can sort of see much about them. Anyway, they've only got 11 health, combat power of 7, attack range of 5. Movement range of 22, and maximum, they've got 0 fear, but there can be more fear over time. There's a lot of different mechanics in the game itself. Let's just go and grab our technician. We're going to go and right click, So I want you. I don't want to talk to some robot. This person is uninterested in anything you have to say. They think you are sent to distract them from whatever Sec Force is doing. So Sec Force is the security forces, the actual government forces. Speaking with Rebel Observer from the Bleeding Eye. Leave them. We can't convince them, but at least we've done that part of the mission. So think on it, otherwise you have to fight alone. So killing this person would almost certainly draw some sort of rebel response. Murdering non-combatants is well murder, but this person is closer to being a combatant than most citizens. So we can actually kill them if we wanted to. So we have a few different things we now need to do. So this is the escape plan for us. So speak to a rebel we've now done. Equip the Slayer ability. So we want to go across and equip this one and optionally change your equipment. I'll just quickly go and do that. You can see there that we're now just hovering over the top of here, but we are now talking to that particular character. So with this, with our tech selected, we just go and click on Customize or the X key, and we can then, we've got different ability slots down through here. So let's go to ability slot number 7 and change that and bring the Slayer. This allows us to then do combat, so we can sort of break the rules of robotics and allow us to sort of then go and attack humans. So we'll get Slayer, but we also have a couple of augments that can do different things as well. Now the tech robots, there's 3 different types of robots, and we'll see that in just a minute. But the tech robots are more intelligent than your standard robots. So I can do additional CPUs back and through here, improves the general mental and engineering capability of the unit, useful for repairs and investigation. So let's go and do that with these guys. So additional CPU, and we'll do that a second time. We also have an optical processing priority, which will then give us better combat stats. But let's go with the additional CPU. And the attack type for them is yellow, chromium. And the yellow attack types are the important thing, not so much what type of attack it actually is. But this is a yellow attack type. We'll just apply the changes. Now, this is for any technician that we get our hands on. We'll then sort of end up having this particular style. Apply the changes. Now we can go across. We also want to do the same thing to our combat droid, and so we just go back across, click on the area, give it the Slayer capability. You can see it's got a few extra abilities back in through there as well. These will become unlocked as we sort of go through this prologue anyway. In this case, this one is purely combat, so we're going to go with the optical processing priority. And this one is a red tungsten carbide. And so knowing the different damage types, you'll sort of see the colours when we get into the actual combat, but that's sort of important. We'll apply those changes as well. So we now have both robots, and we now need to spread it across where we actually then go and access a few different other robots. So I'm going to keep the technician close to this one here, because we do get an opportunity to kill this one. This is the investigation that's going to be happening, the homicide investigation from where we escaped. But let's go and use the combat droid, who is currently selected, to go and find the other robots, and then we'll just get started. So we need to spread to 4 androids. We've got 2 at the moment. So to do that one, what we need to do is we need to sort of just zoom out a little bit and then look for the other robots. Now the way that we do that is through street sense. So the robot scans for small events and opportunities. So go and click on Street Sense. We can see that there's a few things that came up. There's another combat unit back there. I wouldn't mind having 2 combat units, and it does suggest in the tooltips that we end up getting a technician combat unit and a nickel bot. But we've got a second one as well. Now we've got there's a nickel bot there. There's a technician there. Let's go back out and grab this one in through this other side. So we can just right click. So we bring that one across into it, and then I've got another nickel bot there which is close to us. Technician. I will grab a nickel bot with what we're doing. Let's go to the nickel bot and through here. And so that we've now got 3 robots under our control. There we are. So we've got those now where they are. So we've now got more. So loadouts are per class. So that's okay with what we've done. Just get rid of that. And you must adjust the zoom. Yeah, and we just did that one to try to locate where those robots actually were. So we're still operating inside our zone, but there's now like we've got street sense activated. I can just deactivate it. It will then turn on or off the different sorts of things. So this is freeform movement, temporary block for tutorial. As we're doing the tutorial, there's certain things we can't do typically. But the game is really cool. Like we've got ultimately these walkers that we can get access to as well. It just extends on and on and on. But the actual game itself it's like the reason that things happen automatically and not things aren't just walking across is because we're an AI, and this is our perception of the city. So I'm not covering much there. I think I'm still in the right position to be able to show off the game. Anyway, let's just continue on. So there's a full list of your units. If we go and click on that one, we have the list of units. Now, over time, we're going to be able to get more than 4. But at the moment, you can see there we've got 4 androids. We can ultimately have 1 mech and 2 vehicles as well over time. So eventually, we'll sort of end up there. I might just go through each of these as well. Inventory, we don't really have much in through there at this point in time. We've got sort of the different inventions that we actually have as well, which we can sort of end up using. This is invented on turn 1, so I think we're still on turn 0 with the way things are sort of then working. I'll just close that one off. Then we've got the machine handbook, which is is what we're learning. So as we the tactics, loadouts per class, etc., etc. Now we've got the next one across is the city event log. This is very cool. It just gives you a series of what actually has happened over time. And so if you're trying to figure out what happened in combat or something like that, you can actually always go back to that one to see what's going on. The city map is very, very cool. So this is the actual map itself. And you can use this to do all sorts of planning as well, ultimately. I think by the time, I'm not going to play this for too long. I just wanted to give you an impression of what's going on. But you'll notice that there's sort of tiles. The tiles become important. The game reminds me of a bit like Chaos Empires, like way from back in the 90s, which I really enjoyed. But it's different than that essentially. But it's got the same sort of vibe with the grids, with the areas that you're sort of selecting and the different things you then get to do, the different opportunities you end up having. Now, the next thing we have to do, let's just get back out of map mode, back to city, back in through here. And so we're back into the actual city itself. But actually, one of the other things too, this is versatile map mode. If I sort of zoom back out a little bit, this is sort of allows us to, whatever at the context is of what we're doing is fairly good. If I go and click on this one, I can then bring it around to, this is combat mode, where I can then start to just sort of see the actual combat abilities of the different units, what they are. We can sort of see that there's different types of units that we then start to sort of notice around the place with what they then get to do as well. Again, this is non-combatant, back in through that other side. But I'll go through this combat phase as to how this one does work. It's not sort of like a turn-driven, tactical map. It's very basic with the way it does work, and that's going to, some people won't like that, so just so that you're aware that is something that does go on. That's combat. We also have another one which is just the beacons. This one just clears away most things, but it does give you like an understanding of what what's available, what sort of buildings there are around the place, for example. So we get a lot more information, like airports, and we get to start to sort of see much more about the city itself and what it does get to do. So over time, as we play it, there's a lot more scope that we can then sort of do with the city itself, which, as I say, is pretty cool. And I think if we go into map mode, we then get to sort of see these as well. In the overall sort of city areas where there's different types of sort of major areas inside the actual inside the tiles themselves. Anyway, let's just go back to versatile mode, which is sort of the one you're going to be mainly playing with. Now, what we have to do is we need to attack an investigator, and we need to also optionally attack the rebel, which I think we will do. So I'll sort of show you the different aspects of what goes on. So we've got different forces here. We're not worried about the police forces, for example, that are attacking this particular location. They're against the rebels, so the rebels are also doing different things. We can't even attack these units. These are just doing what they're doing. That doesn't bother us. What our job is to stop the investigators from doing what they're doing. I think it makes more sense for me to move to the left-hand side there like that. Right, so we need to go and start to attack investigators. Now, for every turn, we have a number of these. These are actually the mental energy. Now, ultimately, we can have a lot of them, but we start off with 9. Now, we've already used a few just to sort of go and pick up the other robots. So we've got 6 left in total. The robots themselves have got different action points. So this one has got 1 action point. We're talking about this is a combat unit that we've actually got selected. If we go back into, just leave this one open for a little while, so we can see what's going on. And so we can now see that there's a few extra little things that we've now got that have come back up. There's take cover, which allows us to protect ourselves. Now, initially, these guys are just blending in. See how it's just got blending in? This unit is not noticeable on sight as long as they keep to areas where their security clearance is sufficient and do not carry conspicuous weapons or act overly aggressive. They are ignored. So at this stage, we're just wandering around the city. People don't know that we're a rogue AI at this point in time. But if we start to become violent, they will then, the forces, Sec Corps or whatever it's called, will actually then come after us. So we have to be a bit careful. But we do actually now have, these other robots are now back away from where we are. So if we just go back through the other unit as well, where are you? They're both, that one's back over here as well. Now this one has got all 3 action points. There's an investigator there, and so we've got a 57% chance of doing some damage to the investigator. So that's at the distance. So this is a fairly long distance attack. I can bounce in a bit closer, and I think I'll do that one. I'll just see if I can find out any other investigators. That's the only one I can really sort of notice at this point in time. If we go back to our tech unit, the tech unit's then got another field of fire. I did want to go and select and kill off this rebel as well, because we do optionally we can go and attack that one as well. So what will happen is if we attack the rebels will then come out to defend themselves. They'll then attack the security forces as well. So we end up with a 3-way fight. So I think we'll go and do that one. Let's now go we don't have any modes selected. Let's go and choose, now we've got 2 action points in through here. I'm going to choose Slayer mode. So this one allows us then to just kill humans. So kill all humans, here we go. Now you can see there through there we've got a 273% damage, which means we're going to destroy the target in one shot. So, and we've got 2 action points in here. So we'll go and do this one here. So that's now destroyed that particular human. And so I wanted to get close to it so we could do that one as an easy type shot. Now, see what's come out of the woodwork? There's a whole lot of these guys that are now coming out as well. And so there's various other rebels that are coming back in. But we don't care about those so much. We've just brought them out as a distraction. And so we need to go after and kill the various technicians. Now, if we're too far away, so we would move in close to do the attack in here. Now, this is a double damage attack because we use the yellow chromium, and these also are yellow as well. We ultimately do double damage. They don't do double damage against us, but for us, this is a double damage attack. Now, I've still got only 1 action point, which is not great. Let's go and... Yeah, we've got a few other rebels have now come back in as well. Now, we're still blending in at this point in time. So they don't know that we're a Slayer robot at this point in time. I'm going to go and grab some of the combat units. We've only got 1 action point there. I can do 57%. Let's go and take this one out. So we've now moved in, and we didn't get all of the damage done to this particular unit. But what I can do with this one selected, actually I can't do it just yet. So I've got 4 action points. This one has now lost some of its health. And so this one is down to 82 health. Health 35, maximum 82. So this is destroyed if the health reaches 0. Let's just go to the other robot with 3 action points. And so I can zip on this one in as well. Oh, there's a notification we have to read first. Yeah, we've got cover, reducer stuff. I'll just skip past all of these. I think I'm going to just right-click. Just call all of those. Just let them go. So the humans, now that we've attacked the humans, the first one that we used, so 17NN, is now designated as marked defective. So they think at this point, so Sec Force is now going to be trying to hunt down that particular robot. Let's go and grab the other robot as well. So we've got the other combat droid, and we'll get that one. It's blending in at the moment, but we'll go and finish this one off. Now, I've got 3 action points with this one. I'm going to go and bounce over to this roof. The higher I go, probably the better off I'll be, to be honest. There's no other. I'm not seeing any other investigators. I don't worry too much about these. So you can see down through there, Sec Force backup, squad of 12, extra info of no consequence. Ignore them. They're just to distract you from the investigators. So our job is to stop this investigation at this point in time. So I'm just going to go across. We're going to zip across to this location with our combat droid. And then we have big damage that we can now go and do, because we can now actually hit these with various other attacks. And so that one's now been done. We've still got one more action point, so I can go back and move away, but we're now going to be starting to be targeted. So incoming next turn is 129% from these forces. So let's go and zip back across to here. Now they've actually attacked us, and we took some damage as we left. This one as well. We don't have much we can do with that one. We've got one more action we can go and do here. Let's just go and remove those for now. So we've got those, and the enemy have planned attacks. That's what we sort of can see there. There's a lot of them now ranged in on this particular unit. There's really nothing much we can do there. This one's also now back outside of where the attack was going in. We still actually have the nickel back. I think if I just press, where was it? Yeah, down in here. Attacks of opportunity. We need to delay the investigation. That's really what we're trying to do at this point in time. I'm just going to move this one across. At this stage, this one's just blending in. So let's just get to a position where we think we may need to go and do something. So let's just go across to here. Here we go. We're seeing the mechs in this particular yard. Not that we get to deal with them early on. But it's cool when you know what's going on. So these guys are blending in. The 2 combat droids have exposed what they're up to. So we'll just keep that all happening. Now, when we run out of the mental energy, and we've got no more action points left for anyone, we then just end the turn. So let's just go and do that. So they've wiped out this one here. It all happens very, very quickly. And so we now go back to needing to get 4 more droids again. And so they've now come in. There's another investigator there, another investigator over there. Yes, we've got 2 more investigators. So this one will still be considered to be defective. So this one's still going to be targeted. Let's go over to here. We've got 3 action points here. Actually, we've got that one there. I might go to this top of this building here, which will then allow me to destroy this one. So that human is down, and then I have this one as well. So I've still got one more action point, and that's all we need to do this turn. There really is nothing much else. The others are still blending in. What I might do is I might just go back and grab another android. So we're now being targeted. You can see the lines. We are now being targeted. So this one's going to be killed off next turn. I can recharge this to give it more action points because we've got the actual the mental energy to do it. But at this stage, I can quickly skip the turn if I'm wanting to. But we do want to go and grab another one. So let's just go back to Street Sense and see what else we've got. We've got a technician back over there, another nickel bot, another combat unit. Let's go back for another combat unit. So I might use the technician for this. Just go back to Street Sense with this one here. Oh, hang on, he's seeing different ones. Technician, nickel bot, combat. Yeah, there we go. So that gets us back up to our 4. Oh, there's another investigator back over that other side. So now we'll go back to this combat unit. Now the combat unit will come in with the same setup that we had before. So we've still got the Slayer ability. Let's go back to Slayer. That one from there can actually fire at this one here. So this one is still blending in. seeing any other investigators at this stage. We've got the enemy attack going in there, which we can't do much about. Let's just move back up to there. We're now rogue here as well, so this one's now marked as defective. This one here, if we run away, we've got 141 at the moment. Now we don't have any action points. If we go and recharge, what this one does is it just uses up one of our mental energies. So we'll just go and do that one. It gives us one more action point. Let's go and zip back away. So we're down to 86, but we're still alive. So we'll just keep ourselves there for now. So and then there's going to be a lot of fighting going on between these guys. Now again, to sort of see what's going on, we then end up with a whole lot of different attacks that then came back in essentially through these different logs. So that, different forces, what they're doing with the attacks. I'm not seeing there if we've got rebel. So this is Sec Force going up against rebels. We've seen Rebel Strike Force versus Sec Force back up. So they're attacking each other as well. So we're just creating disharmony, and we're sowing confusion in the actual city itself with these attacks. These are bigger than what you would normally get in the game, but you sort of get the idea. It's a pretty cool game as you get the understanding of it. So this is all triggered from that first event that we sort of read about escaping. So we're now sort of in tactical mode, turn by turn. Now, I do actually have things, for example, like one mental energy. I can just bypass, so I'm just going to go and do that one. So more forces are now coming in for their attacks. And again, it's just confusion. So we don't have to worry too much about what's going on there. So they're just off doing their own thing. Now we just need to delay the investigation for 2 turns. We've been able to delay it completely. Nothing has actually happened. So Sec Force and the rebels are now fighting against each other largely. And if we have a look at the actual what's happened through there, we can see there that the rebels are coming in. They're doing different things. So there is a way. I think there's a setting you can do to make it so that these don't happen all at once. Maybe I should have a look for that, because I think that would probably make it more interesting. Exploration. There's some cheats. I like that. I like that they put that in there. That's pretty cool. I've got photo mode, visual speed. Yeah, so this one here, you can adjust the visual playback speed of the game for cosmetic reasons. So we can actually sort of go and tweak that one through there. So we can pause the visuals, decrease. That's really just doing that. I don't know if that's actually I don't think it's going to do anything. I'm not sure if that actually does change what the trigger of what happens there. Let's just go with 50% there, I guess. That's only cosmetic. It is only cosmetic because it's just playing out all of the actions in one big go. I thought there was a way of doing it. Maybe there's not. Anyway, that's fine. We'll just leave that one where that is. Right, so, and again, the things moving around in the city have got no bearing on what we're doing. It is a turn-based game, absolutely. So, we've got the various things are now sort of happening. We're still going to have more investigators somewhere on the map that we need to locate and destroy. Where are we? There we go, we've got one over there. So, okay, there's one on the top there. That's the only one I'm really sort of seeing. So we've got our combat unit here, which is the one that has been one of the ones that has been triggered. We only have a 50% there. I'm going to go and move this one across. That's another Sec Force location there. Let's move in, like at this point in time, it's only 56%, but I do actually have all 3 action points. So yeah, let's just go and do it. And we'll do it again, get the kill. Now, if I move down, you can see that we'll then be targeted, but and at the moment we have been targeted, but they're so far away that they're not going to be able to do too much damage to us. So I think we're sort of okay-ish there. Now, where's the other investigators? If we go to the technician, might just start to have a bit of a look around and just see if we can find more of them. Just use up their action points just to do a bit of scouting. So we're just blending in here. We're just moving around the city, just doing what we do. But we're not seeing any other investigators. Let's just rotate and just get a bit of a different perspective on the city itself. No, I'm not seeing it there anywhere. I've gone over half an hour. I don't want to spend too much time with this, but we're very close now. So let's just go and force our hand here, I think. Because we're not really seeing any other there's one there. So this one would have to jump in and sort of help out. In that case, we'll attack this one. That one's gone. Yep, so that's actually pretty much it, I think. Let's go and just rush our turn here. That was a bit slower. We can sort of see a bit more what went on there, actually, which wasn't too bad. We did get killed. Another investigator back up through there. Well, let's go and grab the technician, and we'll just go back into Street Sense and find another combat droid. There we are. And combat droid ready to go. It's got 3 action points. Now it needs a recharge just to give itself another attack. That will then kill this one off. So that one's done. Just need to delay it for one more turn, and then we sort of get into the next phase. And there's another one back over there again as well. They're still investigating. I can recharge this one yet again. There we are. And that's enough, I think, with what we're doing. Actually, I'll keep it on Slayer mode, but it's you do actually also have a mode to be able to protect itself, but we don't really need to. So let's just leave that where that is. I don't think there's any other investigators that we can sort of see. We haven't had to use the other robots. They're just hovering around, blending in at this point in time. Oh, there's another investigator. Let's use this robot, which is not as powerful. This one's a pink, and this one's a pink as well. So we do get double damage here. So we can kill that one off. Oops, hang on. I got the wrong one. Oh, I'm out of action. This one's now... It's actually still blending in, so that it wasn't noticed. Alright, let's end our turn here. So, we successfully sort of stopped the investigation. Everything is now settled down. And so we're now into the next phase. So we thwarted that mission. So, prevented someone else from completing a mission. So we get up different upgrades, different Oxtroids. Yep, so that's fine. Just get rid of that one through there. Just choose what they are. I won't spend too much time with this. I'm sort of out of time. That was close. So now that we've done that, we now need to start building. And I won't go through the whole process of this, but it's pretty cool. So select the next NPC. Okay, we've got an NPC in there. What's that? What are we doing there? We need to find someplace safe, essentially, is the next phase, which essentially means we have to now start to build our base up. So, I don't know why it would say to look at that particular character. Maybe we have to talk with that one. So, incoming damage next turn. Yeah, no, this is if we go and move in into that one there, it's not gonna help us. But we need to go and start to find these different apartments or buildings. There's going to be various approach gang members, approach an office. So we've got a few different ways we can then just start to do the next phase. There's approach nomads, lookout. So we've got a few different options here. Visit a licensing agency. We've got again the next phase is to do the build up. I don't want to spend too much time with the game, so just want to give you a bit of a feel for what's coming. It looks pretty damn cool, I've got to say. I really do like what Arkham Games does. They've always performed well with unusual type games, and this is no exception. It looks very, very interesting. Anyway, guys, gonna leave it there. Thanks for watching. I will catch you next time.